Welcome back. We're gonna continue sculpting on our T-Rex today. Uh, as as an always, the software I am gonna be using is Zbrush, but it doesn't matter which software you're using. You can use whatever software you want. You can use Blender, Zbrush, Mudbox, whatever you want. It's all about like the techniques and like the fundamentals. It's not about all this technical stuff like what kind of button you're gonna press. It's all about like sculpting fundamentals, kind of like. So you don't so you can follow along with whatever software you want. You can even like start with the base mesh and just follow along. Like feel free to do that. Uh, but enough of talking right now. Let's begin. All right? Yeah. Okay. So I think we just need that the dinosaur is starting to look like a fine base. Maybe need a little bit more geometry. I don't want too much more geometry. They're gonna start. I'm just gonna give me 1 second because I want specific amount of geometry, kinda, because I don't want too much. Just gonna take the geometry to where I want it to be. Okay, just wait. So, let's do this now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, of course, look up the head a little bit, because right now, honestly, it doesn't look look much like a head. Am I right? So, let's begin with that. I think I'm using references. You know how important that references is when you sculpt. Remember, have this like simple triangle shape here instead of this like extreme thing like this, because it looks cool out now, but it's not gonna look that cool in the end, because when you add like all these other shapes, it looks kind of weird. You can like maybe create something like this. That looks very animalistic and very very natural. It looks like a real animal kinda. So be sure to don't make it too exaggerated and really look to the animal kingdom and trying to like stick with the laws of I was gonna say the laws of the jungle, but that's from the Jungle Book. Is the trying to stick with the how like birds and crocodiles, alligators, all these different kind of really cool animals look. You can see I'm just blocking some really simple stuff in. I think it's starting to get on the right track. I just need to like block in some more T-Rex mouth stuff, kind of like this. Just blocking it in. Trying to always think about fundamentals, about the most simple shape. And here, yes, I'm just gonna try to like do this like double chin thing. Kinda, it's not a double chin, but like loose skin on its neck. So to create that, I'm now we just did it a little bit quickly with the clay builder brush that you absolutely can do, but you can also take the damn standard brush and really like mark in where you want it, and then take a flattening brush and flatten out the area, and then use smooth brush. That's more like a beginner friendly method. You will like find this quicker and faster methods when you sculpt more and more. Just gonna add more volume to all the muscles that we added last time. Just add more volume, like the shoulder here. Then just make it sure it's connected here. Make sure that all these muscles are really getting the attention they need, because the muscle anatomy, it's a dinosaur, but it's still really really important, because if you don't add all the anatomical muscles and skeleton structure, it's not gonna look like an animal. So if you want it to look real, you gotta really find these anatomical references, and there's amazing reference online. For example, this like free anatomy book on like not Google, but You can search for it on Google and you will find it. Anatomy for no Animal Anatomy for Artists by Goldfinger or something like that. I think it's called. Yeah. Just Animal Anatomy and Goldfinger, and you're gonna find it. So I really recommend that, because then you can take a deep dive into how anatomy is on like birds and all these different animals that really helps the dinosaur to feel more real. Because now I'm just gonna like add more and more volume to all these muscles and really trying to create an illusion of that this is a cool looking dinosaur. Alright? Yeah. Here I'm just gonna add some more volume to calves. Just adding more volume. And here from behind the calves, up behind the leg, like that, straight line. Then a little bit of muscle on the side here, and then I'm gonna erase a little bit of volume in between here, just so it gets that more like contrast, a leveling of different like layers. It's really important. Yeah, like that. You see, we just real quickly just blocking in the anatomy once again. That's often how I start. Yeah, like that, and then I'm just gonna smooth it out once again, but not so much, because we want it to be a little bit more clear this time than last time. Yeah, you see, it looks a little bit more clear now. Not much, but just a little bit, and that little bit can really help. And then when you want to start now, like adding more like fine anatomy, I'm gonna do the damn Zbrush and just really define where I want the muscles, because that's really gonna help. And I'm using a ton of reference, of course, so feel free to like look up your own reference, or if you want me to give you some references, please let me know, and I can like link them in the description. But then I need to know that you guys actually want that, so let me know. Then just sculpting every single muscle, and on the leg muscles you're really like defining, but not like all the way up, because they're not going to be as visible up here as they are on this entire part here. So like this part here, look at it, and just like smooth and nice transition. And here it's really important that it's sharp. It looks like you know what you're doing, kinda. Anatomy is all about just creating all of these amazing and cool looking shapes on creatures like this, and I'm just gonna add some kind of damn standard inverted basic bone structure to the legs, kinda like that. Yeah, now I'm just gonna add more and more stuff here. I see, now all the muscles are really starting to get there. I'm just gonna define the jaw as well. Now it looks very childish right now. Trust me, it's gonna look cooler out in the end. You see here now, we started on the leg, for example, started to get some basic anatomy blocked in. These different like layers starting to show up here now. And now I'm just gonna like continue building up the muscles, like refining them again. It's all about this like back and forth, just like building them up, seeing how does it look, do I like it, do I not like it. It's not that hard, it just takes a lot of time. Make sure to add this like triangle here, because that's really important. And like ostriches has that like triangle, and I really like that when you can see clearly that it's the T-Rex is based on real life anatomy, because it makes it feel so much more real and believable. Make sure that the calves are really big, because You need really big calves to be able to like run around with this, because he has such a big amount of body mass. So make sure that you really create a big calves. And the bone here, this is really important. I see a ton of mistakes, that people create like the bone and they stick it out like this. That's not how it works. The bone actually goes this way, but you just want to like subtly indicate it. So never indicate the bone like this. The bone is going upward like this. Imagine this like a foot. So if I can show you here now, here is the lower leg, the upper leg, lower leg. Here is the toes, right? The toes right here. And here is the foot. He's standing on his toes. So the skeleton here, it's gonna point upwards, because he's standing on his toes. If he's standing, so this is all like based on human anatomy and animal anatomy. It's just like, it's really simple if you just like learn the base really easy. It's never easy, that I should have said that, but never really easy, but it gets easier or less difficult, or how you want to say it, and it gets more fun. So really think about those kind of stuff. You see the leg are starting to get some more shape, and I really just wanna amp up the shape here, and I know since before that it's gonna be like this shape here, kinda. A weird shape, but cool looking as well. Just gonna take another reference. Let's see here now. There, I found it. So now we're just gonna like build up the overall shape of the leg a little bit better. We're gonna move this up. It gets more like bird-like, and really like not pronounced, but really make this exaggerate this form here, like with the leg, really like push it forward. So then from the other side can push this shape like inwards like this. I'm gonna make it look better anatomical. Then the calves, really make sure that they are more like forward like this, so they look a little bit more like realistic and in place. And I see a lot of like big problems when people like indicate calves like this. They are muscles. They also has a layer of fat, so never indicate them like that. And especially at the beginning, like keep it simple. Never overcomplicate stuff. It's not worth it. You see, I'm just creating a very simple basic shape, and then I'm just taking the second shapes here and just trying to make all the shapes look great with one another. But let's create the upper part of the leg. I'm sorry for that. Right here. Then we're gonna like sculpt this like this, follow alongside the muscle, going like this. Make the muscle sure that the calves are really like pronounced and really like important part of the leg. Here is the knee, so just put a little indication there that here's where I want the knee to be. Then just placing up, just making sure that the muscles getting the definition and the tension that they need. So I'm just gonna, from here, this part, up to this part, to the pelvis, from the knee up to the pelvis. I'm gonna make this straight line here. And then here I'm really gonna amplify the muscles. So I'm just going to create them, just like this. Gonna take some time, but I'm gonna create them from scratch, of course. Yeah, I want to show to you guys all of this in real time, because otherwise it's really easy to like skip some parts, to just make it easier for someone like me that want to show you guys this stuff. So yeah, I don't need to do as much hard work, but I think it's important that you see that it takes a long time to create at least decent looking sculptures. Yeah, but let's continue with this now. So we're just gonna like really exaggerate the pelvis right here. You see, it's really clear. Exaggerate it. This, especially this part. If you would take, the skeleton looks like this, a really sharp part, but ain't gonna be showing that much, but it's gonna be showing a little bit, so be sure to really exaggerate that. Oh, sorry for that, that was only my dog. Yeah, I think the leg base is starting to get there. Gonna take the damn standard and carve this part in a little bit more, and then smoothing it out a little bit, just to see what I think about the overall shape. I kinda started to like it now, the overall shapes. Just here now, making sure that the layering looks at least decent, because this is all layering of muscles, so be really careful how you layer them, so they don't look close. I like inwards curve here. You see here, like this curve, like an S shape. So don't like make it like this or like this. Be really careful with how you create all these different kind of shapes. Make it like an S curve so it looks artistically pleasing. That's at least a tip from me. That's how I usually do this kind of stuff. Always trying to find the gesture and these like beautiful proportions. And I have always found on dinosaurs that, like especially on a T-Rex, the legs are so important. You should spend like a lot of your time on the legs, because they are really like one of the points you place you're gonna look at the most, like the legs. And they, or you can maybe look at like the claws on his like feet here first, because they look really scary, and then your eyes are gonna like walk up with the leg, and then it's really important that all this amazing detail is there, because otherwise the people that are gonna watch your art, they're not gonna like understand why there ain't as much detail on the leg as on like the feet or head, you know. So really make sure to take your time. And here I'm just gonna like carve it in a little bit like this. Make sure that it gets like this, so I get this like angle here. Yeah, kinda like that. The leg is starting to look way better out now. Yeah, okay. Let's continue working with like the neck or something. Yeah, so we're just gonna like very simply just exaggerate that shape, and then really easily just, it's not my hair day today, exaggerate these kind of shapes and really try now to get a nice looking head. Get a very nice looking head. Take your time here at, well, the head is the most important part, so really take your time. And the T-Rex head, it's really tricky. Dinosaurs and dragons, like this kind of stuff, it's really tricky, because we don't have like a good reference for this kind of stuff. It's so hard to make them look like realistic, like in the movies like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. It's so hard, it's so much work, and they taken like months on creating those amazing pieces. So don't feel discouraged Just take your time and really make the best artwork that you can make. And my favorite thing is to create sculptures. I can texture fine, but I'm not super loving texturing. I have started doing it a lot more than I used to. I really recommend trying to improve your artwork with a lot of different stuff. So if you want me, guys, if you want me to create some basic texturing tutorial, please let me know. I ain't the best at it, but I can show you some basic tips and tricks that I usually do to get away with some like half decent textures and make the image to look like really good. Yeah, you see here's like this S curve again I talked about before, like here. It's creating that S curve. You can now see that the head is starting to look a little bit ridiculous, because the first part, this part needs to be further. And now it's loading. I'm sorry for this, guys. Like that, yeah. Move the eye back more. And then make the head a little bit like longer, so it's get bigger, and have the eyes like really far back, because it's gonna look like the head is gonna look more mature that way. So now it looks way better, just with that little change. And I know it's ridiculous that it's some of these small things can make such a big difference, but they really do. So I'm gonna tell you all these tricks that I know, guys, so please like subscribe and like and share this video, so we can learn together on this YouTube channel and grow this channel together, so we can really like keep learning. Yeah, now we're just gonna add some more like this like really nice planes. You see, I'm adding the planes one by one, blending that S curve and with the overall shapes. I think we need to block in some more anatomy, maybe. Yeah, like here. Now we like doing this like slow build up until we're just gonna make it like really scary really quickly, because now we're taking our time to create the base, but that's gonna make it able to like get to a much higher level way more quickly, like in the next episode. So stay tuned for that, guys. You can see I'm just trying to build up some very basic anatomical stuff here. Can't have it like that, I want it like that. The tail, you really need to make sure that you use planes, the tail as well, because the tail is actually really important. Sorry, that's just my dog in the background. Yeah. So okay, make sure that the planes are really like extra, like, how do you say this in English? Extra strong at the tail, so you really can like see all of the different kind of planes. Now we're just gonna erase some of this with a move brush. Now add a skeleton that T-Rex has here, like this scapula, or what you should say. It's going up like this, so just make sure to like block it, this shape in here, but not do too much with it, because so much fat and stuff on top, so you don't really need to show it too much. That's a great anatomical thing to add. Subtle little shape that's really gonna help your dinosaur. You see, if just like, it's starting to look more like lifelike now, this dinosaur, and that's mostly because we added so much anatomical, so much we have just like in some few anatomical stuff that really helps the T-Rex to feel a lot more real. that's why it's so important to create this anatomical stuff like muscles. And then in the end, I think we're gonna like add veins and all this kind of stuff. Scales, of course. But we'll only add scales if you guys want me to make a tutorial on that, so let me know about that. And the more likes we get on a video like this, the more likely the quicker the next part is gonna pop up on YouTube. So I'm gonna create the next part quicker. So make sure to like the video if you are enjoying it and wanna see part 3. Yeah, this is part 2, so part 3. And here now we're just gonna add like the chest muscles here. The arms we're soon gonna create, but they are still a little bit too early because you see we don't have much topology here, or we do have like enough for some small extra shape, but it's not worth taking our time to do that right now. So I'm just gonna make sure that all the shapes here are starting to look fine. You see, I'm just taking the smooth brush and just smoothing out the shapes and getting them there. Yeah, I think this actually starting to look pretty decent. Starting to look a lot cooler out now, at least. I think we can actually do one more thing before we end this tutorial, just block out the toes. I'm gonna do that just by like pulling geometry in like this. And then I'm just gonna like remesh this dinosaur. Now we just gotta wait a few seconds. Yeah, like that. You can see now it looks really stupid right now, but it's gonna look better. Yeah, like this. And then we're just gonna drag the toes out like this and just have a very basic start for them. We're not gonna do too much with them right now, but we just need a basic blocking. And then the material has a little toe like right here on the side as well. Just make sure to block that in and connect it to the skeleton here. I'm just gonna block it in. I'm not gonna extrude it right now. I'll block it in so we have that. Yeah, maybe we're actually gonna get one more part of the arms as well. Yeah. Be sure to like just extrude this stuff like this. And that's, yeah, it's just the beginning of the arms. We're gonna create some more, but we're just gonna use the inflate brush a little bit quickly to like make them a little bit bigger, like that. That's all I had for this episode. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe if you want to see the next part. I think we're gonna get a pretty decent T-Rex in just a few more episodes, and I think it's gonna look real nice. If you hope you liked it. Have a nice one. As I said before, like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you wanna help me decide what kind of like tutorial I'm gonna create next, go to my Instagram, Sculpture for Life, and just follow me there, and you can vote on which dinosaur, or not which creature or character you want me to create next. So see you all. Bye guys.